Hey, what's up guys? Cain here with XBLA fans, and I'm going to be giving you a quick taste of Smite, Season 4 in particular. So one thing you might be asking is why are we doing a quick taste of Smite now? And that's because the Season 4 patch just recently hit console, about a month ago or so. So this is a good time for new players to kind of like jump back into the game. It's kind of refreshes the game a little bit, changes up a lot of items, changes up a ton of different gods and their abilities, and kind of like buffs and nerfs a lot of different characters. So like things that were strong in the last season may not be strong now, and vice versa. And it kind of like resets the game a little bit to keep it a little bit fresh, and also to kind of make major changes between seasons. And I want to thank Hi-Rez in particular. They are helping us out with some Smite content this month. So they've sponsored a lot of this, so just giving you a heads up about that. But I'm going to dive into Smite real quick now. So if you've never played Smite, I'm going to just give you the really quick basics. You've probably heard of a Moba before. Smite is a Moba, but what it does is instead of having that isometric top-down view, it kind of puts it in more of a gritty third-person view. So you're running around the map, and you actually, see your character a little bit more. You see their view. You don't have that full map top-down view, so that changes things up a little bit in how you actually have to play. In particular in modes like Conquest, it makes it a little easier to kind of hide and, kind of flank and do some other cool things. So I've got some examples of that. But one of the cool things about Smite is it is pretty accessible for new players. There are lots of different modes. So even if you're not someone who wants to play, that longer match, 3-lane typical MOBA mode, which in this game is called Conquest, there's still Arena, there's Joust, Clash, Assault, Siege, and there are some rotating game modes that come in, as well as Smite is going to be adding in some new things. Like, I don't know if you've seen the newly announced Capture the Flag. That'll be coming to console very soon, and I'm looking forward to trying that out. So they're putting in some like cool rotating modes that are going to be really sweet with a lot of effort put into them. So I'm really looking forward to trying that out. But I'm just going to give you a really quick rundown of like what these are. So Arena is kind of more of your 5v5 just fighting. There are minions in it that you push to get some gold, and that's how you kind of score points. And it basically works as every team starts at 500, and the first team down to 0 loses. So this mode's a little more familiar for people who play something like Battlefield. Like it makes sense. Things just kind of are pretty just understandable right away. So this is just a really good mode for people who just kind of want to get in, get a really quick match, and just have some fun fighting around and doing some crazy stuff. Joust is kind of a more simplified version of Conquest, so it still has that like added strategy element, because you play as a team of 3 players and you want to push one lane. Now there's still jungle monsters, there's still some camps, there's still some stuff like that, and it's nice because it seems to be a very easy way for players to kind of start to learn more a little bit about the strategy of pushing waves and making sure that you're actually getting gold, and taking down towers, and eventually taking down the enemy's Phoenix, and eventually their Titan. And like it's a very fun mode, and I believe it's actually one of the more played modes on Xbox. So it's a really great mode if you just want to get some friends together and play that. Conquest is more of your standard MOBA mode. This is your 3 lanes. There's a jungler, a solo laner, a mid laner, and then you have your duo lane. And your duo lane goes to that longer lane, whereas your solo laner goes to that shorter lane. And then you're going to have to rotate around. There's a lot of map rotations that are going to happen. It's a very complex mode. It's very good for people who are looking for large amounts of strategy. It's something that, honestly, you're never really going to be perfected. Like, that's one of the things I love about MOBAs in particular, is a mode like that, you can honestly continue to improve constantly. And that even goes for the top of the ladder. The absolute best players are still getting better and better in learning new things, especially because of the fact that things change up from patch to patch. And then there's Clash. Clash is kind of a simplified version of Conquest in a sense. I wouldn't say it's even taken as seriously as Joust from what I've seen, just from the games I've played. That's my personal opinion. It's a nice area to just kind of like play a 5v5 double lane game, but it's not like, it's kind of in between Conquest and Arena, if that makes sense. You know, like there are jungle camps, you know, there's some levels of strategy in this. There are some bigger objectives, but it's kind of like Conquest if you got rid of the laning phase and made it a little less punishing if you backed bad times. So like, you're not as likely to get raged at if you have no idea what you're doing. And then there's Assault. Assault is probably my absolute favorite mode. I love Assault. I think it's absolute blast. One of the cool things about Assault is it's all random gods, and it's one lane, and it's just a constant 5v5 lane push. So basically, you start the game, you're assigned a god, you never really know what you're going to get, which is always fun. Other people don't know what they're going to get, so you're not playing against people who are always playing on their best gods. So, you know, it kind of shakes things up. It lets you try new things. You get to, you know, use new gods that you probably wouldn't have used otherwise and might be too scared to try. And for the most part, it's a little more relaxed. I love that. I think it's a lot of fun. And it's probably, again, personally my favorite mode. So you can only really buy when you die, which kind of gives you an incentive to go a little crazy, which is always kind of nice. Alright, I'm going to skip the Dragon Inside. That's one of those random rotating modes that's kind of cool. But, like, it's always a little different. And then there's Siege. Siege is a 4v4 Conquest-like map. So this one is honestly one of the more unique ones. I think it's really cool, actually. Is the fact that there are siege weapons that will push your lanes much more quickly. So as you get, like, enough kills and, you know, push power and whatnot, you end up creating a siege monster that then goes to one of the lanes and starts pushing. And you can actually teleport to that siege monster from your base. And at the same time, there's also a neutral siege monster that you can kill, who will then become, you know, another siege weapon for you. And it's really cool how this works. I think it's one of the more unique modes, and I really enjoy it, and I have a lot of fun with it. It's definitely pretty sweet. But that's just kind of a rundown of what there is as far as modes. Obviously, there's, you know, co-op versus AI, there's ranked, there's some training modes. There's a lot of stuff to get you into the game. But one of the cool things about Smite right now is they have Season Ticket going on, and Season Ticket is free now. And that's one of the neat things that's going on. Definitely something that's pretty cool. So you can kind of just participate in this now without having to actually buy anything, which is really sweet in my opinion. So it's definitely something worth checking out. And obviously there's tons of gods right now in Smite. They continue to keep adding them. The newest god just added was Kuzenbo. I've been having a lot of fun with him, just kind of running around playing him. He's a pretty cool little dude. I like how he's just kind of a trolly turtle. But no, there's pretty much something in here for everyone as far as gods go, which is one of the things I really like. So, like, whatever your play style is, there's probably something that's going to kind of resonate with you. And on top of that, like, all these gods have tons of different skins. So, like, there's some really, like, kind of troll funny ones, and there's also some really, like, serious-looking, menacing ones, as well as some that are, you know, kind of reminiscent of various pop culture references and whatnot. So you can find some cool stuff in here. Something that's going to resonate for you. So this is a free-to-play game. That's kind of how they make their money, is through, you know, skins and boosters and random stuff like that. And that's one thing I like about this game in particular, is that there's nothing in here that's pay to win. You don't even have to worry about that. There is literally nothing in here that you're going to buy and be like, oh man, now I'm going to win more than the people I'm playing against. So that's kind of just the gist of Smite. It's a really cool game. I'm going to be doing a ton of content over the next month related to Smite, and I'm really looking forward to kind of doing some beginner's guides and some other things. Should be a lot of fun. And if you guys have any questions or anything in particular you want to see, please do let me know. I'm looking forward to it. Thanks again so much for watching, guys, and please do like and share. It helps us out a ton. We really do appreciate it. Later.